All right. So it looks like Dylan and Martine are doing table one, but I am very familiar with both of these teams as well. So I decided to sit in on table two. Looks like we've got Comfortably Numb, which is Jeff Hayes, Chris Hopkins, and Terry Mason versus Smash, which I do not have their roster in front of me, but I've got, it looks like Johan. My guess is Rizaldi is on this team. Let me see if I can find their roster real quick for you guys, as I am not on site in Lincoln City. I am back home now, but let's see, Western VCA. Go to the website. So yes, 2-1. It looks like Jason Parayu coming to the table. So my guess is Jason, Rizaldi, and Johan. I do see Rizaldi currently playing on table one. So yes, that appears to be their lineup. Smash takes a 2-1 lead. Let me confirm real quick that you guys are hearing me on audio and check in with the chat as well. Okay, Western BCA. So for those of you that are not from the local area, if you're tuning in, this is Lincoln City, Oregon, the Western BCA 9-ball championships. This is a biannual tournament. Happens twice a year. Once we're playing in the spring, we play 8-ball, and then in the fall, we play 9-ball. So, table two, real quick. All right, perfect. So then you guys can hear me. Hello, Diana. Looks like she's rooting for Terry and Team Comfortably Numb. Got Jeff Hayes at the table. Looks like he had a little edge of the one ball, and he chose to thin it and play a decent safety. Looks like Jason has a look at the one ball, but it is a pretty steep cut shot. If he can get there, he might be kicking at it. And so, yeah, it was just the edge. So he accidentally slow rolled and rolled into the 5-ball, giving Jeff a ball in hand. Jeff has a lengthy 1-ball shot. Ooh, and it just hung up on him. He did have a pretty decent look at his 3-ball afterwards, it looks like. But Jason will be coming back up to the table. Not 100% sure. Sometimes I get lost with the 4 versus the 2-ball. I'm not sure. I think that is the 4. So I believe that he would be playing shape for the 3 afterwards on the other side of the table. There is some traffic in the way. Let's see how he navigates. He chose to go rail first. Got a friendly little bump, catching the 9 really full so that he could push it out of the way. And has a really good look at the 3-ball with a little bit of angle. All right, sorry about that. I had to step away real quick. Looks like Jason navigated the 3 and is back on the 4 ball. Looks like he's gotten a little flat on it. So yeah, he's just gonna roll it in and take his medicine and leave himself the long 5 ball. But since it's dressed up over the pocket, shouldn't really be an issue. His next shot may be a bit long as well, depending on how he navigates this one. Naturally, his cue ball will be going into this direction. If he puts cues up on it low, then he can bring it back this way. So he accidentally moved the 6th ball with his cue. And his opponent Jeff has chose to leave the ball there because he's hooked. I actually probably would have moved it. I probably would have had him move it back because I think he still would have been hooked, but he would have had less option to go rail first. I do believe that even rail first would be hard in this situation with the 9 ball sitting where it is. So I think that he's going to the short cue is what it appears like. So yes, it looks like he's going airborne with the short cue. What a shot. What a shot. Actually got some draw on it. I'm not sure he wanted that much draw, as now he's a little jacked up over the 9 ball, but natural position that towards the 8 ball, but it's also it looks like it's got a little bit of an angle, so it looks like he's coming really towards the 9 ball is what he elected to do. I like that. He came up a little bit short, leaving himself what's known as the 50-yard line. Looks like comfortably NUMB has secured the game on table 1, tying the score up at 2-2. And looks like Johan is currently playing. That was a tough shot that he left himself there. It was a good attempt. Jeff, if he pockets this ball, he will have pretty good shape on that 9 ball unless he fires it. And even then, he can go in the rail, come back out. He decided to do that. Okay, nice way of getting through the ball, nice and cleanly, nice and confident. Sometimes we can get a little nervy when we roll balls, and yeah, I respect the decision that he chose there. Jeff makes the 9 ball and comfortably NUMB takes a 3-2 lead. It looks like I do not know who's playing on table 1 actually. Table 1 appears to be Terry Mason versus Johan. Sometimes it's just so small that I can't even really tell what's going on. We do have like a picture-in-picture, a little window. I think that you guys have it too on yours to see the other table. So 9 ball at this event is the 9 ball does count on the break, so it is opponent rack. So Jeff is currently racking, and I believe his opponent is going to be resolved because he just played Jason. So this one, I have a tough time because both these guys are quality guys, and yeah, I have a tough time rooting for one or the other, as Resolvi is definitely one of my favorite teammates of all time, and Jeff's a good friend. So Let's see if I can turn this volume down and see if anybody is actually participating in the chat. Looks like there are 5 of you tuned in. If you'd like to interact, let me know where you're watching from. So yes, again, we are at the Western BCA Championships in Lincoln City, Oregon. Their motto is that it's better at the beach. I would have to agree. In the corner, you get to see some of our sponsors. That was Jake, I believe his last name is pronounced Bratley. He's got billiards glasses. Go check that out. We got Joe's Glass. Joe Ladd has been sponsoring this tournament for quite some time. Babalu Billiards down in Roseburg, Oregon. Littman Lights, the greatest lights on the planet. It looks like on the table next to them, Robert Masney is playing, which I actually put him on that team. They asked me to sub in for that team, but unfortunately I couldn't make it work. And so I thought Robert would be a great fit for them. So it looks like Chris Robbins, Robert, and who else is playing over there? Their third teammate is a really nice guy. I met him the other day, and I can't remember his name to save my life. But yeah, watch out for them. That's going to be a pretty strong team, in my opinion. So it appears that Jeff has enough of the 2-ball to go at the 9. I'm not sure if that's what he's doing. We'll see. He did. And now he's going to fluke the 2-ball. Unfortunately, he's hooked on the 3-ball. Can't fault him for taking an opportunity at an early win. Completely understand, especially you guys. His team has a 4-2 lead right now, so in those situations, you can take a couple of swings at certain things, especially when it's not. There's a lot of balls left on the table, so it might not, necessarily cost him the rack to take that attempt. Even if his opponent gets back to the table, he might not run out, kind of thing. Unfortunately, he had a piece of the ball to hit, but that led to him the tangent angle was pretty wired to the scratch. And so it looks like he might have tried a little bit of bottom to avoid the scratch, but helped find it, unfortunately. So Rizaldi comes to the table with an opportunity with ball in hand and 6 left on the table. And he starts off with the 4-ball and the side, leaving him a shot in the corner for the 5. Probably roll up on this a little bit to get a little bit straight. Not completely straight, but he did actually get pretty flat on this. He wanted to have just a little bit of angle so that he could kind of pop off to the middle of the table for the 7-ball. Now it's going to be harder for him to get off of that rail. He's not going to be on the rail, but he's going to be really close to it, probably bridging off of it. Yeah. And in these situations, if you can give yourself just like that extra little bit, like he needs about an extra 4 inches to be able to bridge on the actual surface, then all of a sudden this shot goes to be pretty much unmissable. He does well to get through that ball, and now his cue ball is in a place where I like it to be, which is gives you room to comfortably bridge and angle towards the next ball. All he really has to do is just go high on this one, pocket the ball, and he should be sitting pretty well done. Rizaldi was actually on my team the last time I came to teams, which was back in March in 8-ball. And I have no complaints. One of the hardest workers I've ever been on a team with. right, so he pockets the 9 ball, and now Smash is only down by 1 point, 4-3. It looks like Jason is playing on table 1, and he just missed. So Chris Hopkins, oh no, Chris Hopkins is coming up to table 2. So that means that Terry Mason is probably coming back to the table on table 1, with Dylan and Martine doing the commentary on that one. And he has an excellent opportunity to take this to 5-3. Let's see. Let's see if I can find. All right, so this is the matchup of the highest rated players on these. These are the two big dogs essentially. Johan is a Fargo. I think he's like in the 560 range, and I believe Chris is about in the 570 range. So both are very equally matched and great shooters. Okay, so he's got a little bit of angle. He's queuing up pretty low. I see. I thought that was the 5. So he's got great shape on the 3 ball, leading him down towards the 4 ball. Can either stun out to just kind of play a stop shot. Yep. And then it'll go towards the 4 just like that. On this one, it does appear that he's got to do a little bit more work. Probably go to the long rail with the cue ball, and then back towards the 6. Ended up a little bit, could have used a little bit bigger of a bump. Now he's got a bit of a tricky shot. Both the side and the corner appear to be available, so it's kind of a personal preference thing. Either way, he's really cutting it and letting the cue ball go. So in these situations, you have an idea of where the cue ball is going, but it's he almost timed that one in. Okay, so this brings Hopkins to the table with a 4-ball run, and comfortably NUMB is already up 5-3. So they are starting to pull away a little bit. If this goes in the favor of Chris, which I think it should, then we're looking at 6-3, and now all of a sudden your score is my score doubled kind of thing. It can start to be a little bit of a challenge to dig yourself out of a hole like this. So looks like table 1 is Terry Mason kicking out a ball. Terry Mason versus Jason is my guess. No, Rizaldi's on that table now. Okay. So Hopkins has this shot into the side pocket. Interesting that he came back out to the center of the table. That does give him an angle, I think I would have left it on the rail to come back around. That's a personal preference type situation. So as long as you got angle, you should be able to work this cue ball around 1, 2, 3 rails. And he overhit it slightly, but that is okay still. You have to buckle down and get okay with the fact that it's not the pocket that you intended to be shooting at, but you still have a very makeable ball. You have to buckle down and ooh, he decided to just go at it. Um, I don't really fault him for doing so, as he kind of had a backup plan, and that was to leave the cue ball where it is. Unfortunately, that is a pretty makeable shot. The cue ball could have I mean, the 9 ball could have ended up anywhere. But even with where that 9 ball is, the cue ball being where it is, it's still pretty difficult. Um, let's see how Johan does here. He just gins it, drills it in the back of the pocket. So 5-4 is a lot different from what 6-3 used to, what 6-3 could have been, and if this goes the other way, that might be a turning point. That might be a momentum game shift. That's that situation that if you listen to any of the makeable shot in the beginning or even ball in hand, it does come up very frequently if you watch these matches where you have a really makeable shot and you have 4 balls and they're kind of all out in the open. Some of them are maybe even sitting in pockets, and that's an opportunity right there. You've got to capitalize. You got to get out. And I think Chris is pretty disappointed that he didn't do that there. First match. Well, not first match, but just being on a TV table, and you've got some nerves going, and I think he just overhit that last one a little bit. It looks like Terry dropped the game on table 1, leading to a tie. We've got a tie 5-5, race to 6. Race to 6 for the Cheese. Western BCA. Lincoln City. 9-ball championships. I wish I could be there. I was asked to join the team that there is on table 3, actually, right there next to him. That's Chris Robbins coming into the camera. And I really wish I could have played, as Chris is one of my favorite people in pool, and he's a solid competitor as well. For those that are interested in the match going on the next table, it does appear that I Need a Miracle is up 3-2 versus OK, Here We Go Again. I do not know. I apologize that I do not know which team is which. On this table, I do, though. Comfortably Numb is the team from Oregon City, comprised of Chris Hopkins, Jeff Hayes, and Terry Mason. And Smash is from the other side of town with Jason Parillo, Johan Lenau, and Rizaldi Garcia. So he missed the kick on the ball, giving up ball in hand to Chris. Chris had a really makeable 2-ball in the pocket, and then drew back to great shape for the 3. And come around 1, 2 rails, whatever personal preference is for the 4 on the side. Ideally, you want to leave yourself on this side of the table. He's done a great job there, as this will now lead towards the 5 down table. Just needs to make sure that he doesn't get caught up on that 9-ball. He's done a great job, especially after you pass the 9 ball, you want to leave yourself an angle, which he did a great job. This is going to be heading down towards that 6 ball. I'm pretty sure that he's going to hit this with some right to go towards that end rail and then back towards the 2 ball just like that. I mean the 6 ball just like that. And then this is exactly, I mean, he got a little bit flat on it, but it's where you wanted the ball. Like he rolled just a little bit further than he went with the ball, but you want that ball out in the middle of the table so you don't have to do too much. You want to give yourself an angle. This one he left a little bit flat, so he's going to have to do a little bit more with. Looks like he's going forward. All right, he's left himself a great angle. He's shooting off the rail, so there's a little element of difficulty. But as long as he gets through this ball cleanly, he overhit this one again. So it was going towards the 9 ball, but it went past where he was looking for. The last time he was in the situation, he elected to fire kind of a bank with a two-way option of putting the cue ball on the rail. I think this one he's just going to try and pocket, and he does a great job. Chris sends comfortably NUMB to a 6-5 lead. Which will bring up Jeff's on table 1, so I believe Terry will be coming to table 2, which I haven't seen Terry yet, so sometimes in the process of uh, the matches alternating and certain players being available and certain players not being available, and you only having a rotation of 3, sometimes the players need to be skipped and stuff like that. So I'm not 100% sure that they were trying to figure out who is on this table. Yeah, I was hoping it was Terry because I haven't seen him yet, but Chris is going to be back on this table, and he just had a really nice out. So should be gaining a little bit of comfort, getting a little comfortable on this table, and then dialing in the speed. I think that with a little bit of adrenaline, he's overhit the last 2 positions on 9 balls. I like him on this rack to actually. I think that his shape's going to be a lot better. You got three racks on the same table now. You start to develop a understanding of how hard to hit the ball and how hard you're hitting the ball currently with adrenaline flowing, and you get to make some adjustments. So I think that I foresee that happening very soon in this rack. So I need a miracle, and okay, here we go again, which is the table right next to these guys on table 3, which is Chris Robbins, Robert Mastny, and I don't know why I can't remember his name. He's such a nice guy too. I just met him. But yeah, okay, here we go again is up 4-3, and I apologize once again that I do not know which is which. I will see if I can go find that. It looks like Kenny Brown has logged in and he's doing commentary on table 3 now. So you guys can check into that. I will go to Western BCA. Check out who is on that roster. Excuse me. Okay, so we are back. Sorry, I had to check in on some clam chowder that I've got going on. Looked good at the coast. I didn't get any, so I decided to make some when I got back home. Chris has left himself a pretty steep cut here, but if he pockets this ball, I was just about to say, if he pockets this ball, he should be able to see the 8 because it's just kind of out in the open, but that was a brutal roll there. So I'm looking for the team that is on the table next to these guys. And the team that is on the table next to these guys is... So, okay, here we go again is Michael Poole, Linda Cyrus, and Tom Stave. And the other team is Chris Robbins, Richard T. Phillips. That's who I was forgetting. Richard T. Phillips and Robert Masney. Okay, so comfortably NUMB is up 7-5. Resolve looks to narrow that gap here. And Smash is now up to 6 at 1 point disadvantage. So now this brings up Terry Mason, which I haven't got to see yet. Terry is a player from the Oregon City area. He has a car dealership in the area if anybody is looking for a vehicle. Hit up Terry. Also is a Fargo 490 and plays pretty sporty. Pretty sporty. He's at a little bit of a disadvantage here, Fargo rating wise, to Johan, who I believe is in the 560 range. Jeff Hayes currently on table 1, commentated by Dylan and Martine. Looks like Jeff overcut the ball slightly, bringing back, I believe, result. Oh, no, that's Jason. So I've got Johan Linnell on table 2 right in front of us. He's got the 1 ball, and on the opposite end of the table, he's got the 2 ball. He's probably going to swing the ball around in the process of application of that much English through the ball, essentially spun the ball out of the pocket a little bit. So Terry's got a shot where he can do a few different things. If he decides to cut this ball, then his cue ball will be going towards the 2 ball, but it will be very hard to control. So he decided to instead play safe and try and duck under the ball, but I think he's left the side pocket open for Johan. I don't know if the 4 is in the way. I don't think it is. I don't think it was because he had room to overcut it. So I think he just missed that shot. But in the process, I think he's covered up part of the ball for Terry. I think that he can cut it to that far corner, but he can't cut it to the other. So if you decide to take this shot on, which it looks like he is, he's coming into the shot line. Your cue ball will go up table. And he was just prepared to deal with the longer shot. Since he hasn't made the shot, though, he is now given Johan an excellent opportunity.